The school began at a time when Pope John the 23rd had issued a call to all religious communities in the Northern Hemisphere, meaning Europe, the United States, Canada, and his challenge was send 10% of your membership to the Southern Hemisphere to help in the development in Latin America and Africa and around the world. This was in the late 50s. And just at that time, the cardinal from Bogota, Cardinal Concha, happened to be a patient in Rochester, Minnesota, which is where we have our mother house. And in those days, priests and bishops and cardinals who had appointments at the Mayo Clinic stayed at St. Mary's Hospital because there was a special suite for them, and they ate with the sisters in their dining room. So it was just a really natural context where here's the cardinal from Bogota visiting with the sisters over lunch, and here's this challenge from the Pope saying, send 10% of your members to Latin America or Africa or wherever. And so the conversation began. He ended up talking with our Mother General, who at that time was Mother Callista, and Mother Callista said, we would be willing to come if there's something that you would want us to do. Well, the Cardinal was very excited about that. He thought, let's start a school for young women. So our sisters began, and our Mother General began working with him to set up a plan. So it was a collaboration between the congregation and the Archdiocese to found a school.
What makes this school unique, amongst others, is that since its foundation, it really had clear its purpose as an institution. And that has been, we have been doing that for 55 years. We have that vision and purpose very clear. And also the values that have inspired all that we believe in, the Franciscan values in which our culture is based, are very strong, very inspiring, and also very clear, because having the Zarza as a symbol reminds us always that what we are here for.
The meaning of the Zarza. I could talk for days about that. You know that it's related to the story of Moses' encounter with God in the form of a simple little bush that was on fire but wouldn't burn up. One of our first sisters, her name was Sister Rourke at the time, but her baptismal name was Patricia McGinty. She had the idea that the burning bush would be a wonderful symbol for the graduates of Santa Pacha. Why? Because they were on fire, but they didn't burn up. They kept on burning. They kept on shedding light. They kept on offering warmth. They kept on giving meaning.
What is the meaning of the Zarza?
Eternal burning and like really just moving you all the time to make you very passionate about everything you do. So passionate.
I think that's the heart of this school. The Zarza is a very important symbol because it's a guide. And when we celebrated the 55 years, we were asking the ex-alumnas if they ever had moments in their lives when they felt lost, and times when there are ethical decisions you have to make, problems in society, suffering that you see, and you go back to the symbol of the Zarza that means be light for the world.
This light that will enlighten the life of you and enlighten the life of others, and you can take that light through different ways in the world, with people, in your job, your relationship with the other, and the way you handle things.
It's always there, burning, giving you the energy, giving you the motivation, giving you the understanding of how can I do something to change society.
I really believe that Pachas changed society, that they're really change makers. And I think that, of course, it's a person's choice. You have to decide what you want to do with your life. But I really think that the school really has a lot to do with the Pachas believing of themselves as change makers, because from a very early age, they're really aware that they are part of a society and that they have a responsibility of thinking about what they can do to make the world better.
We learn best through experience, right? So to be able to provide our girls with experiences of interaction with different communities, especially communities of need, is very important.
Since I was a little kid, I've always been taught how to help, how to listen, how to give a hand to the other that need it. And I think that's what they taught us here.
I think it's very important, all this community service we had at school, basically, because I really think that the possibility to be aware of all the things that go around in our city, in the country, and even in the world, it's like really crucial to be the person that we are today.
When I was in 11th grade, I think, or 10th, and I was doing my social service, I was in the Proyecto, and I met a woman who was with us there in that moment, someone from the dispensario, and I asked her, what did you study? And she said social work in the National University. That day, I knew I was going to do the same she was doing.
We have something that is called Brigadas de la Salud. So that was the first time that I went to these informal settlements that were on San Cristobal and above. And from that moment, I realized that, well, you're very fortunate, like we have education, we have a decent house, we have so many things, and there's a lot of people that do not have. And I realized that my job could be like trying to work for better housing, for better settlements for people.
I don't know if you still have this program that you shared with the CASPA. Yes, and it was really nice. Like you could relate to the girls and boys that were there, and they were similar to you. And in this society, like you are so far away from these realities that you actually made friends with them, and they were just like you. The only thing that separated you from them is that you live in different neighborhoods, and maybe like the money you were, like your family there. That's all. We were all children, and we all had dreams. And when you are able to realize that in your life, you are able to treat others in your life the way they deserve to be treated, like human beings. And I think that's what the school gave me. You are able to, I'm going to like in this society, it's very hard like to treat others with love, and Santa Pacha gives you this.
What the school taught me in that moment about social leadership and commitment and all this, it really marked me as a woman, as a professional, as a mother, as a teacher, as everything I am.
That very precise moment when you start knowing like the world is bigger and you have you have a role there, like to realize that you have a role. I think that is what Santa Pacha says. Find your role, go for it, just do it. So.
When we put our book together for the 5 years ago, we did a study on where our Pachas are. They are literally all over the world. And if you invite each one to tell her story, you can see how she is and has been making a difference where she is.
I'm trying to reduce the adolescents that are doing drugs, a program that we're doing with parents, and we're teaching and moving them to stop punishing children physically and things like this.
I work with two NGOs. One is about dogs, that is called Alma Perruna. Also, I work with an NGO called Techos Verdes. These are families that have very low salaries, so they plant groceries in their houses, in the rooftops, and they sell these groceries, and this is an income that they have.
I get to save lives. Like, for example, when a dog is adopted and somebody wants to give up on him, I'll try to do my best for that person to stay with the dog.
Right now, we're working on a project in Tolima where we are meeting people that used to be combat as FARC. So they are right now trying to start a new life as civilians. They are trying to adapt to the new territory and so on.
I work at CASFA, Colegio Anexo San Francisco de Asís. I'm a psychologist there. I am also the coordinator of the pastoral department. And in that department, we try to create activities and experiences. And I also work in holistic healing, alternative healing. But what I love about all the jobs that I have is that they look to help the person achieve their highest potential as human beings, to be happy, and to know what they can do in their lives, with their life.
You are not working in something that has to be with social things, but you are always seeing things differently.
I think that the women that are educated in Santa Francisca Romana believe that they can change things, and they can change things in the world.
As you share what you have, you are changing other people's life, and as you change other people's life, you are changing a little part of the society.
But you as a Pacha cannot just do your work like the homework, just like is stated. So you go further, right?
I believe deep inside of a Pacha, where her Zarza burns, there is that constant desire for more, learning more, experiencing more, giving more, and that's what needs to be nurtured. So every Pacha has a responsibility to keep on feeding her own Zarza.
Is your Zarza still burning?
Yes, it is. It is still burning. And how? Well, in my relationship with all the people who I'm doing it in the community.
Yes, of course, my Zarza is always going to burn. Now I think that it's burning very high with my children.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is all the time, and it is manifesting me being a mother. Basically, for me, that's where I feel it the most.
I think yes, my Zarza is alive. Sometimes it's stronger. Sometimes I feel it like it's there, like very small. But then I notice that and I try to do something different.
That fire of Zarza is still in me because I'm helping others light. I'm helping others show that God is there with them.
I haven't lost that. That's very important. I hope I haven't lost it. It's very important in my heart. And I think identifying the needs in the world and seeing how I can be of help, identifying where a difference or where my help can make a difference.
I think it's something that, thanks to the school, is always inside me. It's just a principle, it's a way of thinking, it's a way of living, which is very difficult to take away from you. So
I think that just with your smile, the Zarza burns.
There's a line. The gift you have received, give as a gift. That's from Scripture, from the Gospels. Think of it a minute. The gift you have received by being a Pacha, all the quality of education and formation and life experiences you've had, is now what you have to give away. And that's what makes all the difference.
Socorrer al que siempre nos llama es la insignia de nuestra misión. Elevemos en alto su nombre y en el sitio que vayas a estar, repartir sin distinto de nombre nuestra ciencia de luz y verdad. El saber es un don muy valioso, no lo vayas jamás a olvidar. Tú lo tienes, comparte con todos lo que a ti te han sabido legar. Que el emblema de nuestro colegio te acompañe doquiera tú vas y que siempre pronuncies su